We used to just order printers and copiers when they would break and really had no mechanism in place to replace toner or track it until it actually ran out. There was a lot of times we would call John. We used to work with John at Hicks, and we used to call John with a panic attack that our main copier went down, which was the one that everybody in the building would use. And we really had no plan in place for maintenance and things like that. So it was tough for us before we finally got onto a plan and a track with John and Ford to start having a consistent plan in place. So we were less reactive and more proactive. So the building, and one of the things that we did is everybody got moved into different pods or areas. So our operations area is in one part of the building, our services is in another part, our production's in another part, and then the administrative's in another part. And one of the things we were able to do was to match each department with their own printer rather than having one printer that did the work for the entire building. So it became a little less of a crisis. If one did happen to go down for a couple hours, you could just shoot your print job to another printer. So that was definitely a big thing that we helped to solve by going together with John and Ford. And also, as I said before, just having a more proactive approach. We no longer have to worry, oh my God, we're out of toner. We have a spare now. So we have a spare for all of our machines when something goes down. And the fact that they track it and monitor it and say, hey, you're getting low on cyan, and they send us a new cyan toner cartridge, we have it here rather than having to worry that we're out. So that's things that we've enjoyed the most is the responsiveness. Whenever we do have a maintenance problem, we always typically have somebody out here same day or next day, which is big for us. I don't know, what it's like at your place, but if a printer goes down here, it's like massive panic around here. Yeah. We're not going to have it up, but they've always been very responsive to emails, very responsive to repair requests. If something can't be repaired right away, they help us figure out how to reroute or do whatever we need to do. But also the ease of the supply chain, the fact that they always have, toner when we need it, and something's always here when we need it. It's not something that we're, trying to chase around or figure out where to go to get it. So those have been the big things that have made the transition very easy. Just the honesty and the forward thinking approach to equipment replacement and monitoring. Typically, whenever we've had to do replacements or we've been looking at replacement, John's been very good at saying, I think this is the right machine for you. I think this one's going to be a little too much, and it'll, the cost for this particular machine, even though it has more bells and whistles, isn't necessarily what you guys are going to use, and it's not functional for you. So I feel like the honest approach to not always talking us into the more expensive machine, but really helping us decide what the best equipment is based on the needs that we have. A few years back, he had helped us on a contract negotiation, and he was able to help us get the pricing down significantly just by finding a smarter approach to how we were printing and changing to more efficient printers. The printers that the customer was using were just incredibly outdated, and the toner cartridges were outrageous to purchase. So I would say what surprised me the most is that replacement's not always the first option. They've always been very good at saying, I think you got a little more life left in this machine. For us being a nonprofit, we don't get funds as easily as maybe other businesses that are for-profit. So trying to find grant funding or, having the equipment, need to be replaced. He's always been very good with us as far as, I really think it's time to replace it, or I really think we can get a little more life out of it. Let's do a maintenance kit and see how it works. That's been one of the things that has been the most surprising. I hate to use this as an example, but anytime you go to a car dealership, it's you should buy this Porsche. It's going to be way better, and it's never been that way. They've always helped us select the exact right equipment, for what our needs are, and they've always known very much what we use it for. The fact that they track the prints, that's another awesome feature. Is we don't have to sit here and figure out, well, how many prints in a year do we do? They have all that. They know. Do it. Ford puts your needs first. They find the most cost-effective approach to keep your business running. They're proactive and friendly, very responsive to emails, service calls, same-day service in most cases. Sometimes it's the next day, which is in plenty of time for us. And the fact that they always come to us with multiple ways to solve a problem. There's never just, you need to do this. It's always, there's 3 or 4 different options, and they help us select the best option, that is us. That's best for us. And the other thing too is that Ford's very community minded. They support our agency at all of our events. They do a lot of things to help out in the community, not just our agency, but other agencies that are like ours. So I would absolutely recommend them to anybody.